Norman Powell. Starting or not, you can't deny him from just getting buckets.
Blocked by Zoo! Powell! Oh my goodness! Hello, nasty!
You might not see his name in headlines, but sleep on Norman Powell and he'll quietly hang 25 on your favorite team before halftime. He's not flashy, he's not loud, he's just a walking bucket with a permanent green light. Whether he's in the starting five or checking in while you're still grabbing snacks. Drafted 46th overall, no hype, no parade, just straight grind. And somehow, every time he steps on the floor, it's like he's got a magnet in the rim and ice in his veins. From riding the bench as a rookie to raising a championship trophy, this is the story of a guy who doesn't need the spotlight, just the ball. Because when it comes to getting buckets, Norman Powell doesn't ask for permission, he just cashes it.
Powell a drifting three. Oh, he put it in! What a shot!
Norman Powell was born in sunny San Diego, the youngest of 3 kids, raised by a single mom with help from his uncle, Raymond Edwards. But Uncle Ray didn't just toss Norman a basketball. He handed him a blueprint. Defense first, fundamentals always, no shortcuts. Basically, hoop gospel. By the time Norman hit Lincoln High, it was clear. This kid wasn't just trying to make varsity, he was trying to own it. He led Lincoln to back-to-back CIF San Diego section titles and a state championship, dropping 19.7 points, 4.9 boards, and 2.7 steals a night as a junior. First team All-State, league MVP, and barely a blip on the national radar. Senior year, even better, 20.4 points, still clamping on defense, still MVP. Powell was already showing early signs of a two-way player he'd eventually become. That just put me in, coach, energy. It started right here. He wasn't a mixtape star, but he was a problem. Despite the hardware, Norman wasn't swimming in offers. No 5-star rating, no viral highlight reel, but he landed at UCLA, a program with banners, pressure, and a rotation packed with talent. From day one, Powell locked in on defense, played within the system, and waited for his shot, even when that shot took forever to come. His first 2 years, quiet, not flashy. He wasn't the guy, wasn't even a guy most nights, but he kept working, adding to his bag, tightening his handle, and turning into a real threat off the bounce. By junior year, he started carving out a name, 11.4 points per game, and one of the toughest defenders in the Pac-12. After the season, he tested the NBA waters and got hit with a cold reality, not ready. The response was bleak, so what did Norman do? Same thing he always does, head down, back to the grind. Senior year, different story. He didn't wait for the keys, he snatched them. While everyone buzzed about freshman Kevin Looney, it was Powell who brought consistency. He led UCLA with 16.4 points per game, took on leadership, and played like a man who knew what was at stake. He left UCLA as a first-team All-Pac-12 selection, but more importantly, as a polished 2-year player who knew exactly what it meant to earn minutes, a theme that would carry straight into the NBA. Even with a strong senior season behind him, Powell still wasn't showing up on flashy mock drafts. No combine invite. No big pre-draft hype, just the same underdog energy. And when draft night came around, his name didn't go up on the screen in the first round or the early second. Finally, with the 46th pick, the Milwaukee Bucks said his name and immediately shipped him to Toronto in a draft night trade for Grievous Vasquez. He didn't even get to imagine himself in green before he was wearing Raptors red. Still, Norman made noise quickly. In Summer League, he cooked, the only rookie to make the All-NBA Summer League first team. Toronto noticed. The city didn't know it yet, but they had a future fan favorite on their hands. Early injuries gave him playing time, but it wasn't steady. One night, he was suiting up for the Raptors. The next, he was riding buses with Raptors 905. Still, he kept the same approach. Stay ready, stay aggressive, keep learning. Then came February 2nd, 2016. With Damari Carroll out after knee surgery and James Johnson sidelined with a sprained ankle, Powell got his first NBA start. He didn't score, but he made plays, 2 steals, solid minutes, and a win against Phoenix. He wasn't lighting up the box score, but the coaching staff saw the spark. And soon, that spark became fire. Late that season, Powell had a stretch where he started going off, dropping 15-plus in spot starts, including a 30-piece against Brooklyn. This wasn't just filler minutes anymore. He was earning trust, earning a role. The Raptors' veteran core, especially DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry, took Powell under their wing early on, helping him understand the ins and outs of a pro game. DeRozan's mid-range mastery and Lowry's relentless competitiveness rubbed off on him in all the right ways. Head coach Dwayne Casey also played a key role, slowly expanding Powell's responsibilities from a situational defender to a trusted piece off the rotation. By his second season, Powell had gone from developmental project to dependable contributor. The Raptors saw the growth and doubled down, signing him to a 4-year, $42 million extension in October 2017. Not bad for a guy who couldn't even get a combined invite. And when the 2018 to 2019 season rolled around, Toronto was all in. DeRozan was gone, Kawhi Leonard had arrived, the Raptors had depth, defense, and real title dreams. But championship runs aren't won on stars alone. They're won on moments. And Norman Powell, he was about to have his. He wasn't a headliner, but he played his role to perfection, especially when things got tight. In the Eastern Conference semifinals against Milwaukee, Toronto was down 0-2. The momentum had shifted hard against them. Game 3, Powell came off the bench with energy, hit timely shots, and gave the Raptors the spark they needed. He finished that series averaging over 9 points per game in limited minutes, shooting over 40% from deep, and showing once again that he's built for big moments. And in the end, it all paid off. Norman Powell, a second-round pick, the kid once bouncing between the G League and the bench, was now an NBA champion. Not a passenger, but as a contributor, a guy who helped push one of the most balanced teams in recent memory over the top. And get this, winning didn't satisfy him. It lit him up. The following season, Kawhi dipped, and the offense needed more. Norman delivered a career-high 16 points a game in 2019 to 2020, nearly 50% from the field, 40% from free. Suddenly, the development project label was gone. Now Powell was a legitimate scoring threat. By the time 2020 to 21 season hit, he had kicked the door down, averaging over 19 a game and carrying stretches off the Raptors' offense. But with the team heading into a rebuild, Powell became a valuable trade chip, and he was dealt to Portland. The Blazers were looking for player firepower, and Powell fit right in. He joined a backcourt already loaded with Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum, but still found ways to shine. He adapted quickly, spacing the floor, attacking closeouts, and guarding wings when needed. In 27 games with Portland to close out the season, he averaged nearly 18 points on efficient splits, including over 44% from deep. Portland took one look at those numbers and said, yeah, we're keeping him. 5-year deal, core player money, finally some long-term security for a guy who'd been proving himself his entire career. It looked like a long-term fit, and for a while, it was. Same Powell, consistent buckets, underrated defense, always ready to shoulder the load when injuries hit. But this is the NBA, and the only constant is change. Early 2022, he's on the move again. This time home to LA, the Clippers landed Powell and Robert Covington in a trade that sent Eric Bledsoe and others the other way. New city, new team, new role, same mindset. Show up, lock in, get buckets. From the jump, he brought exactly what the Clippers needed, scoring off the bench, energy on both ends, and that trademark, I don't need a warm-up mentality. Whether starting or coming in as the sixth man, Powell was instant offense, floaters, catch-and-shoot threes, strong takes through contact. He gave them a scoring jolt every time he checked in. In 2022 to 2023, he averaged 17 points in 26 minutes, efficient enough to start on most teams. He shot 47% from the field and 39% from three, all while guarding up defensively when needed. That balance, elite scoring in limited minutes, and solid defense made him one of the most valuable bench players in the league. And then came the 2023-24 season. With Paul George and Kawhi Leonard dealing with injuries off and on, Powell stepped into a bigger role without blinking. He averaged 24.2 points per game before the All-Star break when starting, proving once again, same game, same composure, just more minutes to show it off. And if anyone needed a reminder of what happens when you really unleash Norman Powell, on February 13th, 2025, he dropped a season-high 41 points on the Utah Jazz, played 46 minutes, shot 50% from the field, 50% from deep, and led the Clippers to a gritty 120-116 overtime win. No complaints, no ego, just straight buckets.
Can they stop Powell? Can they put the brakes on Harden?
Taking Harden off the ball again. Letting Powell start the offense and attacking him just way too easy.
Norman Powell's time in LA has proved what fans who've been paying attention already knew. He's not just a nice bench piece. He's a pro, a plug-and-play bucket getter, the kind of guy who can flip a playoff game in 3 possessions flat. That's why coaches trust him. That's why his role keeps expanding. And that's why nearly a decade into his career, Norman Powell is still getting better. If you're an aspiring baller trying to stand out, this part's for you. Ask yourself, if you vanished from your team tomorrow, what would they miss most about your game? Now, build that, sharpen it, make it hurt to defend, because your role isn't a label, it's your superpower. Norman Powell figured that out, and it carried him from pick 46 to an NBA championship. If you vibed with this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe for more NBA stories that go deeper than the box score, and let us know in the comments whose journey should we break down next. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.